and let's get into it. So, Chicago with the number one pick. I think this is obvious, in my opinion. This is Caleb Williams. You don't pass up a chance to take, I say this lightly, but a generational talent at QB in Caleb Williams. Uh, I don't get giving Fields a chance with Williams available at this point. You have a chance to take Caleb Williams. I don't think you keep Justin Fields over that. I think Eberflus does keep his job, but Getsy's most likely gone, and they can, build something back with Williams and Poles with an attempt to save his job. And with the second pick, the Giants, I think this is obvious as well. Daniel Jones, ACL, not good. All that money. He does have an opt out, which I think this could save the Giants team. That is Drake May. Again, with Williams and May, I don't think it's 1 and 2. I think it's 1A and 1B. And some teams might like May more than they like Caleb Williams. Maybe that could be the Giants. But in this, we have the Giants picking May at 2 and Chicago picking Williams at 1. So New England. Now, this is something that fans of this team do not see, and fans of the NFL do not see. A Bill Belichick-led team picking at 3rd, and I think Olu Fashanu could be tempting with the way Belichick refuses to add offensive weapons to his team. But, I mean, you can't not take Marvin Harrison Jr. at this point. I mean, maybe some people's top prospect in this class, and I could definitely see it. So that's what I'm going to go with New England. Arizona just won, taking them out of the sweepstakes. Well, they're still in the sweepstakes, but in this mock, taking them out of position for Marvin Harrison Jr. And this is a tough pick. Arizona. Do they give Kyler a weapon like Brock Bowers? Do they go with Dallas Turner? DJ Humphries is getting up in age. Have a Fashanu Johnson duo at tackle. That'd be lethal. But I think I'm going to go with Dallas Turner at 4. He's been climbing up ever since the season. I think he's kind of separated himself as edge 1 in this class. Chicago at 5. Gave him Caleb Williams at 1. Do you give Caleb Williams a weapon like Bowers? Bowers is the best tight end prospect since Kyle Pitts, and it's not even close. I like Pitts as a prospect a little bit, but that's not a slight on Brock Bowers at all, and it's tempting to take him, but I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to take Olu Fashanu with that right Fashanu duo to protect Williams and give him an offensive line. At 5, we have Green Bay, and I think this pick seems a bit obvious with the way the board has shaken up. This is Joe Alt. David Bakhtiari's replacement seems simple. I don't think they give up on Love. He's shown flashes in the last couple weeks, and they get him a left tackle in Joe Alt on that offensive line. It would be a Green Bay thing to do to take a defensive back in this position, but this is my mock, and I have him taking Joe Alt. Los Angeles at 7. It's been a interesting season to say the least. Besides Stafford, Kupp, Puka, and Donald, they don't have much. While they have seen some step-up play, Kevin Dotson has been shockingly good. Buffalo at 17. Man, this team has a lot of issues. Uh, he could go a lot of things: offensive tackle, receiver, defensive back. Kalen King available. Nate Wiggins. Uh, Back on offensive tackle: Mims, Paul. But I think I'm going to go with wide receiver. Yeah, it's been an issue. Gabe Davis is not a wide receiver, too, and they don't have much besides, Diggs, Kincaid showing up as of late as weapons on offense. And I'm going to go with Rome Odunze at 17 to Buffalo. Cincinnati at 18. T. Higgins most likely gone. Boyd could be gone. Do I go Emeka Akuba? Oh, man. Egbuka does kind of seem like the fit, and I'm going to go with Emeka Egbuka to the Bengals at 18, a slot guy that would replace Boyd. Uh, on this offense, the Saints, just like Buffalo, they have a lot of holes, a lot of places they could go. Uh, I would take QB in this position, but that's not what the Saints are going to do. They have too much money in DC. So I think this is a position. That offensive line is awful, awful. It's a tackle edge, which seems like common for teams in this year's draft to go tackle edge. And I'm going to go with edge. I'm going to go with Jared Verse, who has fallen a little bit, uh, but in this Cam Jordan most likely, he's getting up there in age, could retire at any time. Uh, they've spent a few picks. Peyton Turner didn't pan out, which is sad. He was one of my guys in 2021. Brian Brzee in the interior developing. Carl Granderson's actually been nice on that defensive line, but adding Jared Verse to that with that young defensive line, with Jordan possibly being gone, don't count on it, but could definitely add some youth to that position. Arizona back, and I think this is a weapon for Kyler. Am I willing to take any of these guys at 20? Probably not. I'm going to go with Kalen King at 20. That just adds to that Jonathan Gannon defense with Dallas Turner and Kalen King. Minnesota at 21. I am a Vikings fan. Uh, I think Cousins will be back next season, but it wouldn't hurt to develop a QB. Penix and Nix don't fit what the Vikings looking for. Daniels maybe he's 22, almost 23, so a few years of development might not be the best thing. Quinn Ewers, only 20, has a cannon. I do like this pick, but I'm not going to go with it. As I'm going to have the Vikings. Oh, this is another tough one. Uh, a lot of the young DBs have stepped up. We're finally seeing Booth play, and he's played well in limited snaps. Caleb Evans has been solid. Mekhi Blackman has, shown some flashes, and they're getting their time. So do you go with a Nate Wiggins type guy? Uh, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with. Man. You know what? I'm gonna go with Quinn Ewers, which might seem like a reach to a lot of people, which it is. I don't think he's the 21st best guy in this class, but with the top edges being off the board, uh, with Newton being gone, I think you got to make that pick for Minnesota. Dallas At 22, I think I'm going to go offensive line. Terrence Steele has not been good for Dallas. Tyron Smith, again, like I've mentioned for a few guys, could retire at any moment. And I think this is a tackle, and I like Patrick Paul to the Cowboys at 22. Uh, Pittsburgh, there's a guy I've been seeing that just fits in Pittsburgh. That's Cooper DeJean. Not much to explain in that fit for that pick. Peterson Wallace, yikes this season. To add to that secondary with Joey Porter, you get a slot guy like DeJean. Uh, like the move a lot. Houston picking at 24. This is a pick that I think needs to be uh, wide receiver. We've gotten some nice production on Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Noah Brown. Shockingly, got Dalton Schultz, but I think you go wide receiver with this pick, and I'm going to go with Adonai Mitchell out of Texas. Miami at 25. I think this is an offensive line pick again for Miami, and I am going to go with Amarius Mims. Mims has not played yet, has coming back this week, so we'll see what he can do. Seattle at 26. This is, attempting to take a QB, but again, kind of a nice developmental spot, and Penix Nicks don't fit that mold. Jaden Daniels could fit that mold. I like what a lot of the guys have been doing on defense. Boye Mafe has been awesome for Seattle. The offensive line has taken a toll, but you picked Lucas and Cross in 2022, so I don't see him doing it again. And I have Seattle. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels at 26 to Seattle. I like Daniels a lot. He's a true dual threat guy who's just playing awesome this season. He got a cannon. He's athletic. He's, can improvise, can make plays. There are a few downsides to his game, and he has, is a kind of a super senior at LSU, but sitting behind Geno maybe one season, maybe even coming in the season, Jaden Daniels, Seattle, that's an awesome spot for a young QB just like Minnesota. Jacksonville at 27. A lot of places you can go secondary for Jacksonville. You could also go offensive line, and I think I'm going to go with Nate Wiggins to Jacksonville. They have Tyson Campbell. Nate Wiggins can be an awesome duo for Jacksonville in the future. San Francisco at 28. I think this has to be offensive line. Now, who is the next best lineman in this class? Is it Guyton? Is it Morgan? Is it Barton? And I'm going to go with Jordan Morgan at 28 to San Francisco. Baltimore at 29. I think this is where we look at receiver again. I don't think Xavier Worthy goes round one. A little too similar to a lot of guys who've gone round one that haven't really panned out. And I think teams will, be leery of that. You could see a guy like Brian Thomas come up. But I think I'm going to stay in the secondary with them, and I'm going to go with a guy who's been a riser a lot, and that is Terrion Arnold from Alabama. And then we got the Lions at 30. Jameson Williams played himself, a nice game last week. I don't think they give up on him yet, but, a weapon, a wide receiver definitely is in position. And I think, they got Gardner Johnson, they got Brian Branch, who they picked, so Kitchens, Newman, probably off the table. And I'm going to go with I'm going to go with JT Tuimoloau at 30 to the Lions, a Michigan-Ohio State pass rush duo with Hutchinson and Tuimoloau could be very explosive. He's a nice piece, man. A guy who's a high motor athlete, pretty explosive too, and can be solid on run defense. And I think that's, the Lions need a guy outside Hutchinson. Kansas City Kansas City at 31. They like the fast guys a lot. Yeah, I know what I said, but the way Kansas City likes the fast, I'm not going to go with Worthy. I'm going to go with Brian Thomas Jr., a big body from LSU who's climbed up tremendous this season, and I'm sure Mahomes can make magic with him. At 32, Philadelphia. I think this has to be safety, and I'm going to go with Tyler Newman to finish this one off. Philadelphia secondary aging, and I think Newman could be a nice piece. And that is all. Thank you all if you stayed this long to watch, and bye.